My stepsister would always call me fat cripple loser during our childhood. Last night, she texted me why we aren't close anymore. My mom died when I was 6. At first, I loved having a new mom. She wasn't the best and will never replace my real mom, but I appreciate her trying to be there for me, and I am pretty close with her and my dad. At first, I loved having a sister, and we got along great. I loved having a playmate during vacations and always having a player too. The problems really started to amp up when I was 13, and she was 12. It seemed like no matter what I did, it went unpunished in her eyes and she had to mock me constantly. Being a hot-headed 13-year-old usually meant to retaliate, and we would have those long screaming matches till either of our parents told us to knock it off or they would send up to different parts of the house to cool off. I also started playing football in high school, and my problem was that I was constantly getting injured. In 8 years, I broke my arm, pinky, and wrist, got 2 concussions, tore my ACL, sprained my MCL, and dislocated my shoulder. On top of all that, I was kinda chubby. I don't want to say I was fat. She used to make fun of me for my injuries and my weight, which were very touchy subjects for me. Her favorite insult was "you fat cripple loser." Or maybe if you lost some weight, you wouldn't get injured so often. Back then, those insults really pissed me off, but I kept trying to be the older brother and just told her to shut up, fight back or storm off. She also loved to embarrass me when friends were over by bringing up dumb stuff I did when I was like 9 or 10. So whatever she said to them would always get back. I did talk with her if she could just shut up when I have my friends over, and she basically told me to F off and that it's her house too. At this point in my life, I am super pissed at how crappy she has treated me over the years. I know I caused some and usually fought back when she got snippy and bratty at me, but to me she started more fights than I did. I tried to talk to my dad and stepmom about how I and her treat each other, and they basically said it's normal sibling rivalry. Her antics got a lot worse, and her words got more and more mean-filled and vile, which meant I would retaliate with just as mean and vile-filled insults. I will not sit here and say I wasn't just as mean to her as she was to me. I used to bully her relentlessly for these hair buns she would wear from 13 to 14. I also told her plenty of times that I hate her and don't consider her family. I bet there were some other moments, but they didn't happen to me, so I probably forgot them. I moved out when I was 18 without ever sending her a text message goodbye or even telling her I was moving out. The past 5 years of unpleasantness between us made me happy that I didn't have to see her. A year later, she moved out, and I still resented her for how we treated each other. We go almost 2 years without speaking other than on holidays, and that's really only dry stuff, nothing big. I am now 21. And she's 20, and I got a text the other night asking why we aren't close like we were when we were kids. I said I don't care to get along with you or get close because of how we treated each other as kids. She told me to grow up, and not even an hour later, I got a call from my dad asking why I had so much hate for my sister years since we had lived together. I told him he'll be cordial and won't cut her out of my life, but I didn't need or want to be close to her. How do I tell her that I don't want us to be close yet until we both want to be close, but leaving the door open so she would not resent me and so we could still love each other? Update: after our text convo that led to my dad calling me asking what's wrong between us, I texted her about a meet up at my place. This was the first time we met/hung out outside of a family gathering. Before she came over, that realization gave me a new look at our relationship. The whole sit down went well. We actually got along and there wasn't any name calling or anything mean. We talked about how we treated each other, and this was the first time I've ever heard her apologize for how she treated me growing up, and I did the same. We talked about how the text convo went, and I concluded that I still had the old image of how she was when I last saw her at 17 and was using that to picture her now. She still kinda acts the same, but it's a lot better. We talked it out and spent about half the day together just hanging out, and I will admit I enjoyed it. I don't think we will be super duper close, but it's a step in the right direction and there isn't a wall of tension between us anymore.